All right, we're back on gaming. I just want to say this now. As you can see, my demeanor. I'm not very happy today. I won't say pissed off. I'm mad. I'm completely mad, and it has nothing to do with the content we're getting ready to talk about. Nothing at all. I'm still mad over Monday. So I'm gonna be mad for a while over that. I really am. But yeah. Anyways, let's move on to gaming because let's be honest here. This week is just the idiot circus has come to town. It really has, and it has nothing to do with the community this week. Once again, this is more media, this is more business, and I'm just wondering if the community is going to step up and say, "Hey, look, we're not going to tolerate this." You know what I mean? I think that's what it is, or you got to watch out because you're being duped. So we'll see how the community reacts to these situations. But there are a number of issues we need to talk about. But before we start with that, we haven't talked about SJWs in a while, and rightfully so. There's no reason to, right? Because they haven't done anything. So what they do is they have to make shit up now in order to get attention. We've seen this for a while. So, MSNBC. That's right, we have to have this talk. Apparently, when it comes to GamerGate, they are saying that GamerGate, that's right, because remember, GamerGate, is supposed to be irrelevant. Remember they've been saying that since last year? GamerGate is irrelevant, yet they keep talking about it, right? Right. GamerGate is now connected to white supremacy, that's right, white nationalism, harassment, and Donald Trump.
This with me, the kids are all right. Christina Greer, Jamil Smith, Liz Plank, Raul Reyes. Liz, we quoted Vox here, which has done some coverage on this. But this is a term that most people don't know, and certainly swing voters, if they haven't made up their mind about this election in general, don't know this sort of pet term, which, by the way, some conservatives object to anyway. Right. What gives?
Right. I mean, I would argue that a lot of young people know that term, and especially a lot of young women on the internet know that term. I know that term. And a part of that movement is born out of the men's rights activist movement and these sort of trolls that hang out on 4chan and on message boards. I mean,
right. But you just said I'm just pushing back on you on not on substance, but on politics. Mm-hmm. You just said a bunch of stuff that 4chan. I just don't think your Ohio swing voter that Clinton's ostensibly trying to appeal to is hip to that. So I'm wondering what is the reason here?
Right. I mean, I would argue that millennials are an important demographic for her, but to your point, this appeal, I mean, the whole rhetoric around extremism and talking about that in the rhetoric of Donald Trump is important. Mm-hmm. I mean, this whole movement is based on this idea that white men and being white basically is you're a victim in society. And so talking about the white supremacists and the people who are following Donald Trump, that's an important part of this.
I mean, it's like, do you remember like the Buddy Christ in the movie Dogma? They try to put a smile on Catholicism, try to make it more shiny and happy.
I found Dogma hard to follow.
Oh, really? I'm sorry about that. But the point is that it's sort of like white supremacy with a smile. It's this more appealing juvenile version of what the Republican Party, frankly, has been selling for decades. And it's more out front, it's more loud, it's more boisterous, and frankly, it's that's leading to a lot of online harassment, particularly of women. And the GamerGate, folks at least maybe familiar with GamerGate. And also, I think, frankly, what Bannon represents is this sort of aggressive push toward, for the Republican Party towards white nationalism.
Seriously, are we going here? Jamil Smith, MTV News. Did people forget that MTV used to stand for music, television, and music? And every once in a while, they give you like a brief update with Kurt Loder and all that when it comes to music. I guess those days are over, huh? I guess we just forgot about that. MTV News. When have you done anything? I just need to know. If you're going to be a correspondent for MTV News, I need to know, when's the last time MTV has done anything of substance? That's what I want to know. But, Jamil Smith, since you want to talk about GamerGate, because the way you speak about it, obviously you were searching for a buzzword. It's in your speech patterns, because you're talking and you're going this nice flow, and then you're like, but online harassment, just GamerGate. Anyone who knows about GamerGate, that's where you messed up, okay? Anyone who knows about GamerGate, you were searching for a boogeyman so badly that you couldn't say anything about GamerGate. You couldn't even explain what GamerGate was. Well, anyone has seen harassment. Anybody knows about GamerGate. It goes to show you that, once again, you're proving GamerGate right. Because when GamerGate wanted, hey, what's wrong with this, this ethics? We want, ethics in journalism. And they tried to change it into, well, this is harassment, and we're going to get all the feminists around, and you're harassing women. That's what it's about. And gamers are like, the fuck are you talking about? That's not what this is about. But apparently, that's the story you stuck with, and then we saw time and time again the media stick with that narrative to try and make it seem like gamers didn't want ethics in journalism. That's what they stuck with, right? They want to tell you that you're dead. They called you worse than ISIS. They called you a bunch of damn Nazis. Now they're trying to connect you, mind you, years later, because remember, GamerGate's irrelevant. Now they're trying to say white supremacy, harassment, which has always been a thing they try to say, and Donald Trump and white nationalism. I don't know where the fuck this guy gets this from. Seriously, he is just making himself look like an asshole. Because you're sitting here saying that if that's what GamerGate is, you're going to connect those, all right, together. Because that's what you're doing, connecting the dots. White supremacy, harassment, Donald Trump, that's what you're doing. This is what you're using for politics, all right? You understand that? So it would tell me that once this election's over, which a number of you had said today on Twitter, once the election's over, they'll stop using GamerGate for the boogeyman. They will. However, you have to understand this, all right? Because you don't want to, apparently a lot of journalists or people in the media don't want to recognize, because there are many people of nationality, many people of color who do support GamerGate because of ethics in journalism. But you don't want to talk about that because it doesn't fit your fucking narrative. So because it doesn't fit your narrative, we don't exist. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Jamil Smith, you got a lot of nerve to come out and say something like this and say it's a harassment campaign when just this week gamers were, they were celebrating. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let's talk about it right now, just to knock this shit out the box, okay? Univision makes Kotaku update Code of Ethics. That's right. Ethics in journalism. Code of Ethics makes it public because Stephen Totillo was against policies available to the public. The link will be in the info bar. So you're going to sit here and tell me that when GamerGate and gamers are sitting here and celebrating, because guess what? At the end of the day, when they were arguing for ethics in journalism, they got what they wanted, and they're celebrating. Here you come to say, you're nothing but a bunch of harassers. Harassment in women. You still want to stick with that? Even though this is the news, even though this is the facts right here, I'm looking at. You going to sit here and say that? Anybody who knows GamerGate, anybody who knows what's going on knows you're full of shit. That's what it comes down to. You should be ashamed of yourself. But of course, you're going to be on that side because the media will stick with each other. That's what they do. And you're proving GamerGate right when you do something like that. The fact that you had to bring that up. Seriously, we're talking political debates here, and you're bringing up GamerGate. But irrelevant, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Fucking idiot. Let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about Pokemon Go. That's right, talk about actual games. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go update adds appraisals and more. Now look, for those who don't know what this update is, apparently there's been a server update on their end, and they're sitting here saying that you'll be able to appraise your Pokemon and see, stats that, their battle, before you battle their stats and stuff like that. Here's the thing, alright? I don't give a shit. Don't care. Developers, you still have not fixed the tracker. Developers, you still have not solved the problem when it comes to, with the disabled. Just this week, when I actually turned on the app, just to let you know, okay, because a lot of people complained about it, and it finally happened to me. I was walking down the street, and the thing came up saying, whoa, you're going too fast. That's right. The app thought I was in a car because I was walking too fast. That actually happened to me finally. So, developers, you have a number of problems still with your game that needs to be fixed, and yet you want to roll out all these other features. That makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. Just like last week, someone in the comment section got upset and tried to call me selfish because I had said that they should try and fix the game before bringing it out to the, to other countries. And you were saying that I'm being selfish because I'm holding on to it. No. It's called fixing the game first before bringing it out to other regions, because guess what's going to happen? If it goes out to other regions before it's fixed, they're going to complain about the same damn thing. So you think with all the problems that people are having currently with the game, that would be fixed first before you have a ton of other people come along and say the same shit because they've been hearing it over and over again. But yet for some reason, wanting the app to be fixed overall for the community is now selfish. Yeah, okay, right. Shall we move on with more crazy news when it comes to Pokemon Go? Shall we do that? Okay. Sex pigs halt traffic, right? After laser attack on Pokemon teens. Now I know you're saying, what the fuck is going on? Let me clear it up because I know it sounds weird, so I'll break this down. Couple dressed as pigs who terrified Pokemon Go players with laser pens, alright, before bringing traffic to a halt by having roadside sex are hunted by Swedish police. Yeah, it still sounds weird as fuck, doesn't it? Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. Right? So a couple who were having sex roadside dressed as pigs, were shooting lasers at Pokemon Go players. I know it's the weirdest fucking header, but still, whatever at this point. Look, Pokemon Go has a number of problems that need to be fixed, alright? But once again, we are seeing more crazy fucking stories week by week when it comes to this. And I find it funny that someone last week in the comment section was like, oh, we had one crazy week, and this guy is going crazy. One crazy week. Clearly you must be new to my videos, because it's never just one crazy week. If that was the case, no one would be complaining. It would actually be fine. But to say I was going crazy last week when I was actually laughing at the stuff, yeah. GG. Good troll. Anyways, let's move on, shall we? Yeah. Let's talk about Berserk. Because for those who don't know, Berserk will be uncensored in the West. Now, for those who don't know what this means, like I said, all the links will be in the info bar, so don't worry about it. This means that things that are censored in the Japanese version will be uncensored in the West. That's right, because they can only get away with certain, amount of certain things in the Japanese version. So yeah, we're going to get the uncensored version. We will see what happens when they say uncensored. You know what I mean? At times you have to understand that companies, when they do this uncensored or unrated version, we see it all the time with movies, do we not? We see it all the time when they try to push, DVD or Blu-ray sales, where they try to give you a specific edition, and they think that you're going to run out and buy it simply because, oh, it's not rated. That means it's more racy. It means it's more raunchy. It means we can get away with more stuff. And then when you look at the extras, it's like, this ain't shit. You know what I mean? So that's how they get you. So understand, you have to be very careful when they say you're getting an uncensored version, all right? We'll keep up on this type of stuff because Berserk does look like it's going to be good, okay? Let's move on. Rainbow Six, that's right. Anti-cheat system, that's right, has banned thousands of players, that's right, and technically, by the number, it's 3,800 people have been banned. That's kind of a solid round number, isn't it? 3,800? That's kind of weird to me, that you would come down to 3,800, but yeah, apparently, all those people have been banned for cheating, that's right. So it goes to show you that Ubisoft, they're not having, mind you, these are permanent bans, so there you go, Ubisoft does not care. All right? I guess, like I said, they're trying to have the community be cleaned up. I don't know why people need to cheat so much anyway. Why? Are you that bad at the game? Do you suck at the game that you need to cheat? I don't understand. I never understood that. Never did. But once again, it's supposed to be in good fun. They are games. Now, if people are trying to play competitive, and that's what Ubisoft is aiming at, well, then there's a problem there. Okay? You have to ban those guys. But if we're talking about just all everyday fun and you're cheating, doesn't matter. But then again, it kills the integrity of your leaderboard. So, like I said, once again, I can see why Ubisoft is doing it. You don't need to cheat anyway. Play the game straight up. I don't understand why people need to cheat so much. But, let's move on. Nintendo. That's right, for those who don't know. Classic Nintendo games played on the HoloLens. Now, we talked about the HoloLens a couple months ago, and I said, when they showed it at E3, I was like, it did a disservice to the HoloLens at E3 and Microsoft's conference, because the HoloLens is bigger than just gaming. Mind you, they showed you Minecraft, and everyone was like, I'm like, so if anyone's actually been keeping up with the HoloLens and their tech demos, they've had you actually go on the moon. They've had you do all these other type of things, you know what I mean? That you can use the HoloLens to break the barrier of technology. It's a great piece of technology we're seeing. But once again, you're doing this to play video games on, and you think that you can draw that market. For the price that you want for the HoloLens, it's still not feasible. So as far as I'm concerned, this is something that you shouldn't get all crazy over, because they're showing a video, which is in the info bar, playing Mario Brothers. That's right, with the HoloLens. So you're augmented reality, but you're playing Mario Brothers. And I'm thinking to myself, does it matter? For the other things that we have seen this HoloLens do, Mario Brothers ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they keep doing this. I just don't get it. But that's Microsoft for you, I guess. I don't know. Speaking of companies, and I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, all right? Because we've talked about this before. And I guess we need to talk about it again. But Sony has become greedy. Yes, they've become greedy. For those who don't know, PlayStation Plus subscription prices are to rise next month. That's right. So let's talk about this, all right? For those who don't know, Sony has announced that starting September 22nd, PlayStation Plus membership costs will rise for yearly and 3-month plans for the US and Canada. That's right. Revealed in the PlayStation blog, yearly subscriptions will rise from $59.99 to $69.99. It says, this is $69.99 CAD. It says a $10 to $20 increase. That's right. It says respectively. That's not respectively, but okay. And 3-month subscriptions from $24.99 to $29.99. Anyone who is still paying monthly, monthly subscriptions will also rise. $11.99 in Canada, but will remain $9.99 in the U.S. So if you're paying monthly in the U.S., you're good. In Canada, it raises. Okay? Now, here's the problem with this that we've talked about before. I've told you before, I am not willing to pay monthly or pay a subscription for Sony's online because Sony's online is garbage. We have seen this time and time again where their servers have constantly gone down. They can't keep anything protected when it comes to your information. We've also seen that they give you shitty fucking games when it comes to PS Plus. And 9 times out of 10, the games that they give you, you already have. They don't offer enough. So for Sony to go from just a couple years ago, it was, we'll never make you pay for online. And then he was looking at Microsoft and was like, Xbox Live making a lot of money, even though they shouldn't, because gamers are stupid, because you're actually paying. Remember, it was peer-to-peer at the time. There weren't dedicated servers. It was peer-to-peer. You were paying for online, just like you pay for, regular online, with your PC. You were paying extra price for Xbox Live at the time. And Sony saw that and was like, making a good amount of money. Guess we should start doing that. And then they started doing it. Should we talk about the PlayStation Store constantly crashing? No, we can talk about that. But, yeah. So they started doing it, making you pay, and gamers had no problem doing it because Xbox Live members had already set the standard that, hey, you're paying for quality, even though you really weren't. And as we know, Sony at the time, when it came out with the PS3, and it came out, I won't even go to PS3, we'll say the PS2, when it came to their online service, they were leagues behind Microsoft when it came to structure, not when it came to performance when online, because anyone who remembers playing on the PS2 online, there wasn't that much of a problem. It was just the structure of things and their interface what was the problem. And then when the PS3 came along, what happened? Sony came up with their own structure, their own interface, and then all of a sudden, Sony didn't like it anymore. They wanted to be more like Microsoft. They did not. So they changed up their XMB. We saw that time and time again with Sony. They kept trying to poke and prod at it, and then all of a sudden, it went from a good XMB to all of a sudden, you had the slider and everything. It was like, come on, stop this, all right? If you look at the PlayStation Store today, it's an absolute joke. But then at that point, they decided they wanted you to start paying for online with the PS4, right? Microsoft still kept going with their Xbox Live, did not matter, But Sony's like, okay, now that they're paying for it and we're giving them shitty service, it's not enough. I guess we should make them pay even more coming up. You've got to be kidding me, Sony. Like, let's look at the history of this here. Sony knows that they're fucking up. But because they're on top of the game right now, because let's be honest here, when you look at those sales, the PS4 is outselling the Xbox. It's doing because they're on top right now. Now they're going to make you pay more. That's what it comes down to. That's all it is. You've got to be kidding me that this is something that we're seeing. And you know what? I've seen a lot of people as of late, and I'm very. How can I put this? I don't want to say upset. I'm not upset because it's something that's been talked about for years and something we've talked about. But it's like. More of, are you fucking kidding me? Because some of you on Twitter sent me some stuff about Max. That's right, Maximilian. And he made a video where he was talking about gamers unite and we need cross-platform play for fighting games. And I'm thinking to myself, are you fucking serious? This is what happens when you have big YouTuber syndrome. Because gamers have been talking about this for years, all right, when it comes to cross-platform. And it's not just with fighting games, it's for all fighting games, all right? But for some reason, when you guys sent me this, you're like, yeah, you should support this. I'm thinking to myself, get the fuck out of here. We've talked about this before, and nobody gave a shit when we talked about it, all right? All of a sudden, Max talks about it, now he needs his ass, everyone's going to kiss his ass. And is it Max's fault that he did the video? No. It's not his fault. It's his fan base's fault for all of a sudden thinking that he came up with this shit to begin with, all right? Not Max's fault, all right? But to sit here and act like, and I said big YouTuber syndrome, because like I said, we've been talking about this for years, all of a sudden Max comes out with it, hey guys, this is what we need to do, and all of a sudden everyone's on board. Are you fucking serious? This is something we have talked about. So no, don't give me this shit all of a sudden, y'all had an epiphany that, hey, we should support this, and you should support it too now. No, it's just not now I support it. I've been supporting it for years, and you didn't care. Now all of a sudden, fuck out of here. Speaking of the fighting game community, yeah. I'm gonna just let how I all feel about everything. I don't give a shit. For real. I got enough shit going on here in reality. This gaming shit, this video shit don't mean anything to me, man. It really don't, man. But since we're gonna talk about the fighting game community, I guess we can talk more about the media. Because for those who don't know, the media is trying to get you, once again, PvP. That's right. This trash-ass fucking site. I keep telling y'all, This site is not built for the fighting game community. They don't care about the fighting game community. Stop letting them try to all of a sudden become famous off of everything that we've done here. You can't let them do it, especially when they're not on the right side of the fighting game community, to make sure that the integrity is still intact. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is the type of bullshit their writers, once again, have to pull. Get triggered, really? You're telling people to get triggered. You can't be this stupid. It's impossible to be this stupid. And for those who think, well, what do you mean this stupid? You mean his article? No, I'm not going to talk about his article, his actual opinion on the article. Let's be honest here. His article sums up to, well, this is, you're wrong, and I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. That's pretty much what it does to the audience. But that's not what I want to talk about. No. Your opinion is your opinion when it comes to Street Fighter V. Because there's people who hate Street Fighter V, and there's people who like Street Fighter V. It doesn't matter what your opinion is on Street Fighter V, because at this point, Street Fighter V is pretty irrelevant given what's coming out. But that's not what we're here to talk about, alright? For you to tell people to get triggered and how it's stupid, I will tell you, okay? Because this half of a writer, and I won't even call him half, I won't even call him a third, not even close, not even a quarter, not close, okay? Because the fact is, when you write an article telling the audience to get triggered, you're telling them to get triggered. You know what that means? You're telling them that it's a clickbait article, and that you're going to antagonize them. That's what you tell them. So as soon as the audience sees that header, they're not going to get triggered. They're like, fuck this. That's what they're going to do. So you chop yourself off at the knees. And the thing is, like people said online, he wasn't even smart enough to say, get V triggered, to play off of that, off of Street Fighter V. Didn't even do that, because he's not smart enough. Yeah, he's not. He's just not. So you wrote an article, you took your time writing an article on your opinions on things, you want people to watch it, and then you antagonize the audience that you want to, to read your article. And you tell them ahead of time, you're going to try and troll them. You're going to try and stir up some type of feelings. So, of course, the opposite would be, no, I'm not going to get mad. You played yourself. Again, this is the same guy who has, because if you haven't realized, same person who wrote this article, same guy who said to you guys and girls that you're absolutely wrong about Lupe. That's right, because mind you, his entire shtick is based around Lupe and Street Fighter V, if you haven't realized. All right? That's his biggest thing. So, remember, you're wrong about Lupe. He's part of the FGC. He loves the FGC, even though Lupe, as you've seen in a number of tweets that he has said, the FGC is an esports, it can't get any bigger, it's just savage and blah, blah. You've seen the tweets. We've all seen the tweets, right? Like I said, it's the same guy who writes this shit. And mind you, Lupe himself said that PvP Live is whack as fuck. Yeah. And then mind you, after that, he still went on to kiss Lupe's ass. Because remember, in his article, he was like, oh, Lupe's a genius at rap. He's also a genius in the fighting game community. A genius? What has Lupe done? I'm just trying to figure this out because the last time we've checked, he's lost more games than he's won. Think about it. Daigo took the dive. We all knew it. And since then, Lupe has not won a fucking match. Not one. And that was since what? February? That's a long losing streak. That's a long lose. I'm just saying. So for this guy, to claim that Lupe is an evil genius or a genius in general when it comes to the fighting game community, the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck? They said ass kissing just for the fact of ass kissing. Now, mind you, all right, when Lupe said that PvP Live was whack as fuck, and he said, I'll see you at EVO, mind you, the positive articles didn't come back out until after EVO. So I'm wondering if there was an apology somewhere within PvP Live. But mind you, this is the same guy who told you that Capcom should invest in combos, getting combos involved because of junk food sponsors, and that's a good thing. And I said, what? That just reinforces the stereotype when it comes to gamers and junk food. We'll talk about that a little bit later, okay? We will. But the fact is, this guy, once again, is not good for the FGC. Again, he is showing that he has to now antagonize a group in order to get some type of clicks. However, didn't work. It goes to show you that there's no integrity within the media. It actually makes the people who are in media, who do decide to write about the fighting game community, it actually makes them look bad because it's media all around. So you have to understand, he's doing a disservice to your subgroup, I'll say. Because mind you, like I said, we've talked about this before, about the fighting game community and subgroups. But we're talking about subgroup as in the fighting game community in general, as in a larger group when it comes to the gaming community in general. Okay? So, my question is, where are all the big-time players to denounce this? Where are they? Seriously. Because all it takes is one of them to be like, yo, no, I don't agree with this. He's making us look bad. He's trying to divide the lines of who likes Street Fighter or who likes Mortal Kombat or who likes, King of Fighters or Tekken or whatever. He's trying to keep you at dividing instead of being a united community, which we talked about last week when it came to the Smash community and all that, and how people should be, and also with the Skullgirls community and how everyone should try and uplift each other so that your community could be bigger, could be broader. This guy is doing the exact opposite and trying to keep you divided so that he can get some fucking clicks. Like I said, the integrity of this community is being hurt because of guys like him. And of course, when you approach him, like I said, I confronted this guy before on Twitter, and like I said, you give him a bunch of facts, he runs away from you. That's what he does best. He does not have a leg to stand on, at all. But apparently, I'm not the only person who feels this way. Because when this article came out, the community started speaking about it as well, and understood that they connected the dots between him and Lupe. And there you have it. It goes to show you that even though I'm talking about these things, there are people in the fighting game community who see it as well. And if you want attention, because this guy clearly wants attention, you'll get the attention, but for all the wrong reasons. It goes to show you that you're not credible, and every time you decide to open your mouth, and I shouldn't even say open your mouth, I should say write your little articles, this is what you do. Keep doing this, please, because the more you do it, the worse you make yourself look, the less credible you are, the less people will listen to you. Like I said, at this point, the fact that you said get triggered and told people you were trying to troll. You tried so hard and it didn't work. It goes to show you that your tactics are full of, not only they're full of shit, but nobody cares. Just like Street Fighter V at this point. Nobody cares about Street Fighter V because there are other games that are on the horizon. We are moving on. Granted, the Street Fighter V community will still be there. They will. And if they have tournaments, guess what? I will go the exact opposite of what this guy does. If there are Street Fighter V tournaments, by all means, support them. Because you want your community to be larger. Overall, you want it to be larger. I'm not going to say, fuck Street Fighter V, you should stop playing Street Fighter V because King of Fighters is coming out, or because Tekken is coming out, or because whatever game is coming out, so you should stop playing Street Fighter V. No, what have I always said? If people want to stop playing Street Fighter V because of Pokemon or Overwatch, or whatever the case may be, then that's their God-given right, because that's what they're having fun playing. That's what I've said. And I point out the flaws of Street Fighter V, but never ever once said, everyone, you should stop playing Street Fighter V. No, because the community still needs to thrive. You still need games, you still need all these games to be relevant, because that's what keeps the community going. That's what it comes down to. Unlike him, trying to play the dozens, trying to be a divider, and say, this is why it's good, and you're absolutely wrong, and try and antagonize you to pick fights with you, so that, yeah, bullshit. That's what it is. Diva tactics, stunts. He should be ashamed of himself because he's a grown-ass man. He should know better than that. But let's move on to other games, shall we? Because we just talked about it. So let's talk about King of Fighters 14. King of Fighters 14 is getting huge reviews. It's getting huge marks. Everyone is loving King of Fighters 14 for what we've seen in the media and with incoming in players. Now, here's the problem with Street Fighter 14. Yeah, you know what? After seeing the way they do specials, you might as well call it Street Fighter 14. King of Fighters 14, alright? King of Fighters 14, alright? A lot of people are upset because apparently a lot of gamers were told by GameStop, that's right, that they were going to have a midnight release. And apparently, there wasn't a midnight release. So gamers showed up to a midnight release. No midnight release. How do you do that, GameStop? How do you fuck up so bad where you tell people what they're going to have, you're going to have this, and then you don't show up? So you got these people sitting out in the dark or wherever they're at 12 o'clock at night waiting for their game. God knows what's going on in the neighborhood that they're in, and you're not even going to have that, that release date. Okay. GameStop, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. But King of Fighters, for what we've seen, beautiful game. A lot of people are talking about the graphics are amazing. But everyone is saying, even though the graphics are amazing, the gameplay, the core gameplay is amazing. And I'm thinking to myself, after seeing the core gameplay of 14, it doesn't look that much different than King of Fighters 13. So here's the thing. Because I need to bring this up, being a King of Fighters fan, seeing the way things are done, the way the moves are made, you can tell. It's King of Fighters 13 pretty much, kind of. I don't want to just say it's just a complete take from 13. They've improved it, of course, from 13. But you have to understand that all they did was put a shiny new coat of graphics on it, it feels. Alright? Now, granted, there are some new characters, so you're going to have new stuff. But if you look at the characters that have been there, like Terry Bogard, the Fatal Fury team, the Akari team, stuff like that, the stuff is still there. The core fundamentals are still there. So when I hear people say that the gameplay is better this time around in 13, I'm thinking to myself, core fundamentals have always been there. So 13 didn't get the credit it deserved, and I know a lot of people are going to say, did you see Evo and King of Fighters 13? Look at it, it was so hyped. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you go to other tournaments, that isn't Evo, if you notice. Like I said, they were having King of Fighters 13 tournaments next to the bathroom at tournaments. You know what I mean? At certain tournaments. They didn't have it on the big screen and stuff like that. So, King of Fighters 13 didn't get the respect it deserved, but now King of Fighters 14 is getting the respect it deserved, but it still had the same core gameplay. I don't understand that. That's what really bothers me right now about King of Fighters 14. Is the game great? Yes. Seems amazing. I see a lot of people playing it. It's great to watch people play it. It seems people are being very competitive. People have been playing this since, like I said, since the demo came out. But before the demo came out, they were playing 13. Because why? Again, core fundamentals. Just saying. Okay? But I just don't understand how, like I said, rave reviews, I'm happy about it. But the way the people talk as if this is something new, and it's not new. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to the fundamentals part. So, for me, it's just like, okay, I can only take the reviews half seriously. However, like I said, the game is getting great reviews. SNK, congratulations. You definitely deserve this, this standing ovation from the fighting game community and its media. You do. It is something that we've been waiting for, and a lot of people are saying, all right, media, not gamers, because gamers had already said it. Media is saying now, you're getting so much more with King of Fighters 14, I was going to say 13, because, 14, than you did with Street Fighter V, and that should be praised. So if gamers were saying at the time, well, King of Fighters 14 is bringing more content, or any other game is bringing more content to Street Fighter V. Remember, those gamers were bagged on by people who defended Street Fighter V. Some even in the media. Now we're seeing the media say, "Hey, wait a minute, nope, we've got to take that back." This is how a fighting game is supposed to look from the start. You know what I mean? So we're seeing it. Like I said, it all comes full circle. It all does. But let's move on. Let's talk about Tekken. I got a little axe to grind with Tekken when it comes to the media as well. Tekken is shown running in 4K on PC. Now, look, 4K, okay, I get it. It looks great. It looks beautiful. It looks spectacular. Blah, 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 blah. We're talking graphics yet again. Now, here's the thing. Is your average gamer going to be playing Tekken on a 4K? Whether it's PC or a 4K TV on a console? Is your average gamer going to be having that? No, they're not going to. Because developers, they can't even harness 4K just yet. We know that. We know that they want it. They want it so bad, do they not? We know this. But as we know, a lot of developers who keep pushing for these new consoles and new upgraded specs and all that, they're not even they can't even get 60 frames per second right. And you're going to tell me, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too, you've got to be kidding me that we're still seeing this. So Tekken, while it looks great, it looks amazing, it looks spectacular, you're showing us 4K for no reason, as far as I'm concerned. Granted, there are a lot of people out there who have 4K rigs. I'm sure they do. Because PC guys, they stay on a PC game. But when it comes to overall performance, when it comes to overall gamers, not everyone's harnessing 4K just yet. We know that. Alright? And a lot of people say, oh, you should get that Alienware or whatever. Let's just move on from there, okay? Speaking of more fighting games, let's talk about the fighting game of the week that we're going to show. That's right. Now, of course, I've shown a number of old school games, and this one is no different. That's right. We're going to go back to the PS1, Sega Saturn days. For those who don't know what I'm talking about Variable Geo. That's right. But instead of showing you Variable Geo, no, I'm going to show you Advanced Variable Geo. We've seen some moves there that we've seen before, haven't we? I know, in other games. However, I'll put it like this. Variable Geo still has a lot of spunk as far as I'm concerned. And of course, you can't compare Variable Geo, the video game, as opposed to Variable Geo, the animes. You can't compare the two, all right? Because, you know, all the nudity and all that. And can't compare the two. You really can't. However, Variable Geo deserves, I feel, a remake. Because, let's be honest here, when we're seeing this huge explosion of waifu fighters, why wouldn't you bring this back and try and make some change off of it? Seriously, you can have a very in-depth, in-core, in-depth system, or you could possibly go the Sega way about it and how they did with Dengeki. You could do that as well. But like, anyway you see it, all right? Waifu fighter sells. Regardless how you feel about them, they sell. You could clearly do this with Variable Geo today and still do well. You could. I'm just saying it deserves a remake or at least a sequel to an extent. Just saying. If you keep it in that type of mindset. You don't need to go 3D and all that type of stuff. No, keep it 2D and keep it that way. Like I said, if you just upgrade it, like I said, it could work. It would sell. All right? Now let's move on. I want to move on to the horror front. That's right. Got some horror news for everyone and some explanation of what we talked about last week as well. So let's talk about Allison Road. Now, as we know, Allison Road was canceled, right? Developers came out and said, sorry guys and girls, we've been canceled. We're shutting it down. We can't do it anymore. And everyone was sad, Allison Road, because everyone wanted to see it do well, because it was looking well. It was looking great, Well, now we're finding out that Allison Road is back. It's been revived. Like, come on. Make up your minds. Either you're going to do this game, or you're going to cancel this game. Either or, okay? So I'll play this. I'm happy it's back, but stop playing with people's emotions. Really, just stop. Let's move on. Now, we talked about Metal Gear last week. And we will talk about Metal Gear a little bit because, because there's some details now on what's going on. But I heard a lot of you say that you're tired of zombies. Because Metal Gear Survival zombies, it's beating a dead horse and, it's run over or whatever. People are getting tired of zombies. Now, I put it like this. While I personally am not tired of zombies, depending on the game, because there are games that do it right, and there's games who just, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, you have to be very selective when it comes to zombie games. However, we shall talk about one Tomb Raider. Because for those who don't know, Tomb Raider to get zombie mode. That's right. They're getting a zombie mode. So for everyone who hates zombies, don't play this one. You know what I mean? I'll play that. Don't play that mode. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're seeing again. Now, also, like I said, I talked about Metal Gear. I want to bring that back up. Konami is asking gamers because, the complete backlash of what we saw with Metal Gear Survive. And what did I tell you? People were going to start making videos pissed off at this. And we've seen it since then, have we not? Okay, and like I said, they have every right to be mad. They do, because it's a travesty. It's butchering, the series. It is. But, like I said, I want to see more about what Konami had to say. So, Konami is asking gamers to have an open mind for Metal Gear Survive. Yeah. Very DMC-esque, isn't it? Have an open mind, isn't it? Okay. Alright. Let's move on. Metal Gear Survive will be a co-op stealth game. That's right. That's what Konami is saying. It'll be a co-op stealth game. This will not be balls-to-the-wall action. I'm sure you probably could make it balls-to-the-wall action. It depends on like this. Even though it's a stealth game, you should know by now, gamers make the games on how they play. It's that simple, all right? There's only certain games that lead gamers on how they should play, as opposed to gamers will make it their own way to play. We've seen that with Smash. We know that Smash was a party game, and gamers have made it into this thing where it's supposed to be a competitive, legit fighting game. Gamers make the game. All right? So even though you give them, the outline, you give them the structure, you give them all this stuff, gamers are going to say, look, I don't have to play stealth if I don't want to. Me and my team can go balls to the wall, and we can do it this way, and we can alert whoever we want, and we can still survive. They're still going to find a way. And that's kind of true. It is. Because you can do that. Konami is giving you, the Metal Gear series is giving you the type of flexibility where you can just go out there and be Rambo, or you can actually play stealth. You can actually do espionage and stuff like that. Depends. You know what I mean? With this game, Konami is saying it's a co-op stealth game. Watch how fast gamers are like, really? Really? Yeah, we're going to turn to something else. They will. But there's more. Metal Gear Survive will not be full price. That's right. It will not be a $60 game. It will cost around $30. That's right. So for this game, for $30, I can see people picking it up. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt. Even though a lot of people are upset and look at you with Kojima and look at you doing to the series, it's bastardizing. People will say $30, huh? Zombie game, $30. Co-op too? Maybe worth picking up. You know a lot of people are going to do it. You know they will. You know a lot of people saying it looks like a rip-off of The Last of Us, and regardless of what it looks like, okay, $30, just like, was it Ground Zeroes almost like? Yeah, people are going to pick that up. They're going to. No matter what they say on the internet. All right? There will be those who do it. I'm not saying everyone. I'm not going to speak for everyone. But you know there will be those who do it. Okay? Now, we're going to move on. Because we're going to talk about some pew-pew real quick. Because I need to talk about this before we move on to some other things that you need to be aware of. Okay? All right. So, Infinity Ward wants to start an Infinity Warfare sub-series. Yes, because we need more Call of Duty in our life. So, they want to take Infinity Warfare. Mind you, a lot of people are talking about not buying the game. And they're pretty much going to make a series off that alone. So, Call of Duty in Space, the series. Yeah. I believe that's called Halo. Yeah, I believe that's called Halo. Yeah, okay. Let's move on from that. I'm going to talk about some pre-orders. That's right. Now, we've had this talk, and a lot of people have said this throughout time, and have said this, even I've seen a lot on Twitter actually last week. A lot of people have said, you should never buy pre-orders. You should never do that. And I've said there's a lot of pre-orders that are bad. So I figured, let's do a segment on good pre-orders, bad pre-orders, all right? So, good pre-orders. Let's talk about it. Rez Infinite gets physical copy, vinyl soundtrack, art book, t-shirt, and more. That is a good pre-order. For people who say don't pre-order anything these days, no, that's a good pre-order. You should definitely support Rez Infinite. It gives you so much in that pre-order. You'd be crazy not to want to get that. Besides, the game is cool as fuck. And the stuff that you get with it, by all means, good pre-order. Now, let's talk bad pre-orders, alright? Dead Rising 4. That's right, Capcom! Yeah. Dead Rising 4 pre-order bonuses are different at every retailer. And the article tells you you're going to have to shop around if you want all the, if you want all the stuff. That's a bad pre-order, okay? You should not pre-order this game simply because every retailer is going to have something, mind you, in-game content. That's what it is. In-game content. Meaning they're locking pieces of your game away from you that's already in the game because they're going to give you a code. Yeah. They're going to give you a code so you can unlock it. It's already in your game. Capcom, again, stop this. Bad pre-order. Okay? Now, let's move on to a little bit more as we stretch out from pre-orders to DLC, shall we? And we'll come back, alright? Bad DLC. Free DLC for Dead by Daylight. And you're saying free? How is that bad? Because, and I'll put the link in the info bar, the Steam community, they are so mad at this DLC because it brings more bugs that the game already has. Gamers are saying, just like I said not too long ago, just like I said last week, just like I said earlier this week, alright? Fix the game before you decide to bring out more features or more DLC or whatever, because it's just going to be riddled with bugs and it's just going to make it even worse. And that's what people are saying on the Steam community. I will put the link in the info bar. They're saying, oh great, we get DLC. It's going to bring on more bugs. Fix what you already have first. That's what they're asking you, and you haven't done it. So, bad DLC. Okay? Also, and more bad DLC, for those who don't know. How to get Titanfall 2. Yeah, Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 DLC by eating and drinking. And for those who don't know, let's look at the usual suspects that EA has decided to partner with. The usual damn suspects, as usual, EA, you should be ashamed of yourself. EA and their bullshit. We're going to move on to it right now, and I'll come back to the DLC. But there's things we need to talk about when it comes to EA and what they've been saying as of late. EA says that Nintendo deserves to be successful when it comes to the NX, right? Then, when they're asked, are they going to support the Nintendo? Because let's be honest here, EA, you didn't support the Wii U, really, right? Okay, but when they're asked, EA ducks support for Nintendo when they're asked, will you support? Well, we don't know about that just yet. They deserve to be, successful, but we're not just sure, So all these other, and the thing is, in the info bar, I'll put the link where they tell you all the companies who have said, no, we're signing on for the NX. We believe in the NX. So EA is just holding back and saying, we're going to wait and see if everyone supports it first, then we'll jump on the wagon. That's what they're doing, all right? So for EA to come out and spew this bullshit about how it should be successful. Well, if you want it to be successful, you have to support it. And they're not supporting it just yet. Let's keep going. EA and more of the bullshit. That's right. EA calls the Scorpion and the Nioh, as you know, the Scorpio, I should say. Scorpio to Nioh, the Xbox, the new Xbox coming out, and the new PlayStation 4. They're saying it's a smart approach. It's a smart approach to keep bringing out consoles, every year? Microsoft has 2 consoles coming out. Sony has 1 console coming out soon. And you're going to sit here and say it's a smart approach. It is not a smart fucking approach to treat consoles like it's a camera, a digital camera, or a cell phone. It's not. All right? Now put it like this. If you want upgrades in, to your software or anything like that, or your hardware, get a PC. You'll be spending less. You will. You're going to be, if you keep buying these consoles the way they are, and it's just, oh, they got 4K, this is a good thing, and as they keep saying, like I said before, you can't even harness 60 frames per second straight next gen, or should I say just this gen now. We can't even say next gen yet because the other ones haven't come out yet. Because that'll be the next gen, right? Every year, we're going to have a next gen as far as I'm concerned. Because it's just upgrade after upgrade after upgrade, just like a PC. So, I find it ridiculous that they would come out and say, this is a good idea. And we're seeing a lot of developers come out and say, it's a good idea. How is it a good idea? You didn't max out let's be honest, you didn't max out the 360. Don't give me that shit. You didn't max out the PS3, all right? You didn't. Like I said, you were having frame rates on the frame rate problems, all right? Yeah, we know that. And then you come out with the PS4, because imagine, you push for the PS4 and the Xbox One, you're saying, this will solve all the problems, and you still haven't harnessed all the power, you still haven't made the 60 frames per second standard, you haven't done any of this. And you're going to sit here and tell me that, yeah, move a new console, more specs, more updated graphics, more power, yeah, we're for that. You can't even take care of the shit you got now. And you want more, more, and more. You are becoming greedy. The companies who are making these consoles do not need to listen to the companies who are making the software. Clearly, you're not harnessing enough. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You are still behind. Regardless how many of these come out. Look, if you couldn't max out, all right, the PS3, the 360, the PS4, and the Xbox One, the original versions, what the fuck makes you think that you can keep it? That's been years and years of spanning, right? 3 to 4 years? When it came, was it for the PS4 and Xbox One? Right? It's about right? 3 to 4 years it's been out, and you still haven't maxed that out. You still haven't hit 60 frames per second standard. And then you're going to tell me you're going to be able to keep up with a yearly version of a console? That's what you're going to tell me. All right? That's what you're going to tell me. On top of having to pay monthly for it and all that. Okay. Not to mention that when you're paying monthly for these games, all right? I mean, your service online, that, as you know, there are terms of service when it comes to third-party software. Well, if the game doesn't do well, we can shut it down within 3 to 6 months, and then your game doesn't mean shit anymore. You should trade it in. That's what it means. Not to mention GameStop is just sitting back waiting. Yeah, let it come annually. Let these consoles keep coming out annually, because then we'll just keep pushing prices for them to trade in the last console. Because let's be honest here, unless you're a collector, nobody is keeping console after console after console after console in their house. No one's doing it. Hell, they won't even keep game after game in their house these days. All right. More EA and their bullshit. That's right. Because we were speaking about 60 frames per second. Titanfall 2 is aiming for 60 frames per second. They're aiming. It means it hasn't got there yet. They're aiming for it, all right? But the resolution for the game has not been decided. Again, you couldn't max that out. You couldn't, and this is on the Xbox One and the PS4. And you're saying that you want more power. Can't do it on this one, but you want more power. Let's talk about DLC again. Okay? Good DLC. Right? Dark Souls 3 DLC, Ashes of Arendelle, releases October 25th. Good DLC. I wouldn't even call it DLC at this point, an expansion. I'm sure it's going to be pretty big. So yeah, Dark Souls 3, coming along. Alright, so that's your Dark Souls 3 news. But we have another game that has come on the horizon just yesterday. Now, we talked about the demo before, but it was released, another demo was released yesterday. It seems like a lot of people are having problems with. And we're going to talk about Nioh. That's right, the new beta is available for download now. That's right, it was available for download yesterday, but for now it is. And it's another chance at unlocking DLC for the full game. Good DLC. That's right, they're putting it in the demo. If you unlock the stuff, you keep it for your full game. Now, I want to talk about this because I had a chance to see X Marks TV's stream last night on Nioh. Alright, or Nioh, depending on how you like to say it. Alright. And I have to say, this game looks, first off, the game's promising. Alright, looks very fun. A lot faster, a lot more fluid than Dark Souls has been in the past, or Demon Souls has been in the past. And even Monster Hunter, if you think about it, the way you're playing Nioh, when you're rolling and stuff like that, you gotta think. Anybody who's played the Souls games, you know, you're very clunky the way you roll. You really hit that shoulder when you hit that roll. It's like boom, boom. It's like you're almost like a boulder that has a bunch of edges on it, and you're just like rolling. And it's so slow. It can be janky at times. It can be awkward. It can be tank controlling at times. And same thing with Monster Hunter when you roll at times. So to see Nioh the way it moves, how fast it is, and to catch the timing of people who are trying to, the samurais who are trying to slash you up and carry you on, it's very promising. I feel as though it's more fluid. It's more, I don't want to say as hard, because anyone who's played Souls, and I know we're at a point now where we're saying, well, Souls isn't hard. But when you play Nioh, it's like, technically, this is easier than any Souls game. It really is the way I've seen it. And to watch it last night, and to see the way, the AI moves, to see how fast your character actually is, to see the number of weapons you can switch on the fly, yeah, I don't see a problem with this whatsoever. It really does feel like Dark Souls, because when you're killing stuff, of course the souls come to you, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? However, I will say that there's one thing, maybe XMarks TV just didn't do it yesterday, but when you're stealth and you're sneaking behind a person, I didn't see any impaling. That I didn't see. Maybe he just didn't do it, or you can't, I don't know. But I didn't see any of that. However, the game itself seems really fun. I don't see the problem with this game whatsoever. Like, this is a game that really needs to be, like I say, for those who want more Dark Souls type action, I would say this is the game for you. I would say it's more on a lighter note too. I haven't seen really any of the bosses, but as you know, with Dark Souls, the bosses, and it's crushing. It really is at times. It can be. If you don't watch where you're going, you can walk into some shit and be like, oh, I'm done. Don't believe me? Go walk into the spider lair. And I'm not talking armored spider either. Yeah, they said you walk in there like, holy shit, where all these spiders come from? Yeah, so it's one of those things where you have to understand, Nioh seems very good, but I don't want to say lighthearted just yet because I haven't seen enough of the game yet. You know what I mean? I do want to say lighthearted attempt. It feels like it's not pressing you as much as Dark Souls does. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It gives you that chance to say, hey, there is hope. There is a way around this. There's times in Dark Souls is like, yeah, you are just fucked. And this is nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? I don't see that so far with Nioh. And looks like a great game. I look forward to seeing more of it in the future. I don't see how anybody can sleep on this game. This is a really fun game. It's graphic. You get everything you want with it. You know what I mean? We will see in the future as far as this goes. Like I said, I haven't seen any of the bosses really yet. So, maybe my opinion will change, on how crushing it can actually be. But the lore of how Souls did their stuff and, the design, the character designs and everything, it's completely different as opposed to, of course, Nioh is. So, we'll see what happens in the future with that. But, yeah, great game as far as I'm concerned. Really had a lot of fun last night watching it. That's all the news I have for today. I just want to say, everyone, we'll start up next week. This week, stream, which will be tomorrow, we will be playing Alien Isolation. So that should be fun. Slender was okay, but I can't wait to play Alien Isolation. We'll see what happens with that. Also, just to let you know, when it comes to standalone videos, I will try and make time to bring out some more standalone videos. It seems a lot of you like the split-second video. I will try to bring out more of that. It's just now it comes down to time. It really does. So, like I said, in September, I should be a little bit more free to do more videos. So, yeah, this August is kind of, dare I say, I've said it once, I've said it again, crushing this week. Or just crushing. So once September starts, I should have a little bit more free time, so I'll be able to record more. So that wouldn't be a problem, okay? Just to let you know. And once again, I also say, if you're not going to watch, if you're not watching this video, of course, I'll probably talk about it in tomorrow's stream. Already, we've done 1 week of streaming, and we have already raised, I believe, $165. So that's good. That's great. You know what I mean? We're on a good pace. So like I said, all for Children's Hospital Philadelphia. So tomorrow we're going to have fun. I started around 1 o'clock around there last week. I think I'm going to start about 12, an hour earlier, Eastern Standard Time this week, because it gives us more time to play around with the games. So, yeah, by all means, Alien Isolation, looking forward to it tomorrow. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. As usual, next week we'll be back. I'm sure people are going to be salty over this video. I don't care. I got other things to deal with, like real life. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.